in the English dictionary, coined by legendary manager Alex Ferguson, and quite aptly, simply to describe a period of particularly tense moments in time, especially one leading up to the climax of a competition. Well, Matthew Cassidy recovers from his red eye illness, but will not make the starting lineup today. There's a pleasant return here for the man in Joseph Data from what was a suspension, as Brian Kayanja and Shamil Chimwero make way, and Alan Mugalu joins Data in the starting lineup today.
Very interesting lineup that coach Hussein Mbalangu has picked, and especially the return of Joseph Data against his former side. This is where it all started for him, from St. Mary's Chitende, the school, and then into the senior team. So should be quite an emotional meeting for him.
There's still no space for Siraje Sentamu on the starting lineup here of Waswa Richard, as a couple of changes are equally made here. Abdul Karim Watambala played the last game, cannot play this one, having picked up his third yellow card of the season. So in the changes there, Mandela steps aside here for Grant Masiko. Watambala is absent, but Brighton Ukani will take his spot. And the man that nailed NEC to the cross, Asiwome Famado, returns today to take the place of Nsereko.
Well, that's a very interesting selection, the return of Asiwome Afomado. I think in the coach's mind, there's always that feeling that there's a team that a player can come up against and he will always score. So that's an interesting selection. But you look at that firepower up front, Yunus Sentamu and Milton Karisa. That's always a threatening firepower, but has not been firing on all cylinders. Alan Okelona, Brighton Ukani, that's the creativity that you think that Richard Wassa has gone for. Even young man, you can see that he has let loose his team and just deployed a team that's just going to go all-out attack. Clearly, you can see the message there is there's no room for any kind of slackiness, but they have got to get the goals.
In case there's still any confusion, it is quite official. According to the competition rules, it is not goal difference that will count. So the number of goals you score may not make a grand effect in the grand scheme of things when it comes to title decision. It will be down to head-to-head. And on that aspect, Vipers find themselves with a short end of the straw against Bull FC.
Yeah, that's a very interesting by the revolution this week. The key thing is that all these kind of tiebreakers have been said that if you tie on the head-to-head, then they'll go into the goal difference. So the thing is that with Bull and Vipers, Bull has clearly got the head-to-head ahead of Vipers. So they are heads and shoulders up there. So they can only be beaten if Vipers has got more points than them. That's why it makes it for an interesting end to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. This man as well, Cromer Othomio, previously with Vipers last season, he'll be really up there to try and put paid to their chances of winning the league, especially because of the manner in which he ended up leaving the team. Didn't play so much, and clearly we probably feel that he has an axe to grind with him.
Referee Mashoud Sali gets us underway. One of the numerous games at the Prisons grounds in Luzira. Chitara will be home, hosting Gaddafi at the Masindi Stadium, while NEC will host AC Villa here, and Vipers will be home, hosting Barra City.
Well, very interesting, but I can tell you that you look at all those games and it's very difficult actually to pick which one is likely to to be the one that has the real crowning occasion, because things can change so easily. But looking at this game, Jermaine, from what we've seen in the early exchanges, we've not seen much from Vipers. They just don't seem to be on the same level as what we're seeing from NEC at the start in the first 8 minutes.
Well, they have 10 million more reasons now to be a little more anxious to get their goal. Ali, pounding header. Well, that was close from Taban Kelvin.
It was in.
Well, Alan Mugalu trying to get to that ball, but just cannot. Now to the midfield. Attempting to get that ball up front. Not much luck here for the young Enoklu Luima.
You feel that maybe he forced that pass? I just don't think that he needed to play that pass, because he could clearly not see his teammate in a position to receive it, so he should have just played it simple. Keep the ball recycling.
Karisa tries to drift his way in. Brighton Ukani was waiting on the outside. It wasn't a pass. A pass, not passing.
Yeah, I just don't think that they're having any sort of pretty patterns here, the Vipers players, especially in the final third. But hasn't it just been their story that even in the game against Express, yes, they won it, but you could still say that they still had their struggles.
Chance for the cross, cut back, nice. But well read here by Paul Patrick Mbowa. What he doesn't have in speed, he makes up with an impressive read of the game. Shot comes from distance. Easy pickups here for Dekereza. And I think he ended up being on the short end again as well. He needed to have made a decision there. Half-time it is as Mashoud Sali sends the two teams back to the dressing room and a much-needed half-time break.
Welcome back to the second round. It's Vipers visiting NEC Football Club here at the MTN Omondi Stadium. 0-0 it stands. We expect that maybe the second half should live up to the billing against Busoga United.
Absolutely sure they don't want another draw like they had one with Mbarara, so they'll be definitely ramping up the pressure there and trying to make sure they get behind their team, looking for that all-elusive winner.
Well, the truth is that if the season ends the way it is with Chitara failing to win the championship, they'll look back on that Mbarara game and they'll clearly feel that that's the game that undid them in the title running, because that's the game that we're expected to win.
Well, they've had several games that did not go their way. They'll also look at the game that they played here against NEC and lost after an equalizer was unduly cut out.
Oh, yeah.
As well as
at 1 point,
that incident at the Chitende Stadium. That would be another sore spot for them.
Yeah, that would be late equalizer, clearly. That's a moment that they can never forget. I can bet.
Well, back to the defense here for Ibrahim Chiemba. Through pass. Marvin Kavuma hasn't had much impact since he came on, but gets his first real opportunity. He can't shoot on target.
So that was a good opportunity for Marvin Kavuma. I just don't understand why he placed the ball onto his left foot and then trying to, I don't know whether he was trying to confuse the defense, but I thought that he was going to carve the ball onto Mudekereza's left post side. I thought that would have been a better opportunity executing the ball that way than hitting it the way he did.
Alan Okello gliding past the pitch, appealing for a handball, not given. Now there's a tag here, and Katongole gets the ball here to Data. Data with a first-time cross, looking for Sebagala. It was actually a poor control there in the end.
Yeah, he probably was trying to chest control for somebody making a late run in, but there was nobody.
Now Alan Okello putting his body between the ball and the attacking player. That was Ibrahim Chiemba. And gets a free kick for his troubles.
Yeah, and Ibrahim Chiemba is such a tough tackler, so sure that yeah, I think there was a real clip on Alan Okello's shin there. I haven't seen so many of the kind, by the way. It's been quite a clean game by and large.
Well, it's been one that has been pretty inconsistent, that even the tackles haven't been flying in. And there you go, substitution, and it is Eric Kenzo Kambale that will be coming in to take the place of Yunus Junior Sentamo.
Well, I think it's coming quite late. Yunus Sentamo has really had a forgettable game. And for him to play 74 minutes, I don't remember him even having a shot on target. It's quite interesting. But can Kambale be the man that saves Vipers' day, especially after such a horrible performance that they've had?
Well, Mukundane tries to get the header onto the ball. It came out to be very tame. He's the man now carrying the captain's armband. Hasn't put it on yet, or hasn't had the time to put it on just yet. Hilary Mukundane. There's the opposite number, the skipper. Kavuma whips the ball in, headed away. Good control. Picked up in the midfield here, Tembo. Chiemba. Tabani Kelvin. Tendele back to Tabani. Looking to control. This is good play here coming in from Cromwell. Othomio keeps his team in possession as Chimwero ventures forward. Has some pretty tight shots here that seem to favor his style of play, but in the end cannot get past that defense. And it's a through pass. The flag stays down. Kambale one-on-one. Chance here against the goalkeeper. Cannot hit the target. And Benjamin Ochan is livid, lambasting the assistant referee. Well, that's a curious sight. Benjamin Ochan is protesting to Mashoud Sali. We get another chance to see that ball. Was he onside? It's pretty hard to tell, but it looks like he could have been played onside by Tabani.
Yeah, I think he was in his own half, just by the center line. So that's something that Benjamin Ochan probably missed. Because by the time the ball is played in, he was probably in his half and he made the run in. So it's difficult to tell. So maybe the assistant referee was right.
In the meantime, that's also a damning statement that comes in against Kambale. You cannot have such an opportunity and fail to make the goalkeeper work.
Yeah, exactly. The Kambale of 2021 would have put that ball in the back of the net. Somehow, since his return from El Merreikh in Sudan, he's been a shadow of his old self.
Well, pride goes with the ability. It looks like at the moment he's more prone to slouching around the pitch with his head back.
Isn't it? Yeah, exactly. 52 points, and then Chitara will be on 51 and Villa 51.
51.
Yeah.
And then you have Vipers on 50.
Yeah.
The referee brings this to a close, and Viper Sports Club, that were in second spot, courtesy of this stalemate, now drop to fourth place.